This week, the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Africa held a hearing to debate the next steps for Nigeria. Republicans are calling out the horrors while Democrats are downplaying the issue.
I went to school with kids from Nigeria. I've got neighbors who've been missionaries there.
Isn't just the persecution of Christians. This is persecution of multiple groups, and I think we have to be careful not to portray it just as persecution of Christians. That feels to me simplistic.
Joining us now, New Jersey Congressman and member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Chris Smith. He is the chairman of the Africa Subcommittee that held that hearing. Congressman, thank you for joining us. What can the U.S. do in order to respond to this?
Well, I think first and foremost, we need to completely eviscerate this culture of denial that the leadership in Nigeria has perpetuated for well over a decade. I had a hearing back in 2012 when Boko Haram was killing Christians and moderate Muslims, doing it with impunity, and we got nothing but crickets from people at the White House during many, many years under both Obama and then especially under Biden. There was a hands-off approach claiming that this has nothing to do with religion. It has almost everything to do with killing Christians because they are Christians and moderate Muslims because they don't conform with the radical Islamist agenda. What we can do, and thank God President Trump did what he did, because this is a bloodletting, the likes of which we haven't seen in almost anywhere in the world. They abduct children, they abduct women, they rape them, and they kill the men. That's almost the most modus operandi that happens time and time again. And we can help them by sanctioning the government for not doing what it could do. I've been to Abuja. I've been to Jos. I went to Jos and saw 5 firebombed churches. Archbishop Kegama, I met with him. This was back in 2013. It has not stopped. So yesterday, and there he is, I met with the head of a delegate 2 days ago, of a delegation of 10 very high-powered Nigerian officials, and they were in denial again that this is religiously based. You can't solve something, and a doctor can't cure something unless they have a reliable read as to what is actually happening. And that's what's motivating this. Blinken told us again and again, and I asked him, because Trump had put CPC, country of particular concern, on Nigeria and was taking action. They came in, they being the Biden administration, and they got rid of it. And they said, nothing to see here. I'm so tired of that kind of, and a moment ago, David, you were talking about al-Shabaab, another hideous group of people who just kill, maim, and rape. And in Nigeria, there is a capable military capacity. Our training there could make all the difference in the world. And you've had on your shows, and I thank God for it, our Mike Waltz, who was he was deployed there in 2015 to try to rescue some of these children that had been, as part of an effort to stand up with the best counterinsurgency methodology and the necessary weapons to do it. I think Trump, again, had he not done this, it would be business as usual and would see the slaughter and the genocide continue unabated. You look up the Genocide Convention to destroy people based on religion in whole or in part. That's exactly what's happening here. It's one of the definitions, and it's about time we called it for what it is.
Congressman, I agree with you. That word genocide has been thrown out a lot, especially in the last couple of years. And we haven't heard a whole lot about what's been going on in this region. Now, we talk about the response here, and I agree, the Trump administration, we've seen incredible advocacy, especially over the last couple of weeks, even some celebrity star power behind it with Nicki Minaj at the UN, bringing a face to this and obviously a huge platform. But as far as Americans and what Americans should do, I think a lot of Americans would be hesitant to say boots on the ground or any kind of capacity like that. But in terms of the money, we send so much money to these foreign nations, and a lot of Americans have some frustration that they're sending money to foreign nations, and then you have the actual genocide going on, especially in concern to Christians. So what do you tell Americans that don't want to see boots on the ground, but they want something to be done to end this?
Well, I think we condition aid We give about $1 billion to Nigeria every year. The conditionality will say you really make a serious effort to mitigate and to end this horrific slaughter, or you lose that aid. Use the Magnitsky, and Jason, you know how well these work, specific sanctions, Magnitsky sanctions as they're called, to pick out individuals, deny them visas, and deny their ability to do business here. That will have an impact. Nigeria is a very entrepreneurial country, and so that will hook a lot of people and say, okay, you're done. We want change here. And, you know, I've had 12 hearings exclusively devoted to Nigeria. And it's like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, does it make a noise? You get this yawn that comes from some of the professionals that are out there in foreign policy. This is the pivot time. I asked that delegation, we are standing with your oppressed people, the Christians, the moderate Muslims, and we're saying, help them. We'll help you help them. There's a training capacity here, and I think that's where it's going to lead to, as it did or we tried to do in the past. So it's got to stop. It just has to stop.
Congressman Jason Chaffetz here. It's good to see you. I got to tell you, firsthand experience with you, there is no better champion and somebody who puts their heart where their action is for you on this issue. And I can't thank you enough for the hard work you've put on this for a long, long time, because you know, I look back at Bill Clinton, and President Clinton said that one of his biggest regrets is that he didn't take care of the genocide in Rwanda, and literally hundreds of thousands and millions of people ultimately lost their lives. This is one of those inflection points, because shame on the Democrats. Michelle Obama made a big spiel about, oh, I'm going to go in and we're going to save all these people, and nothing's happened. And shame on the Congressional Black Caucus, because we're talking about the heart of Africa. 1 out of every 5 people in Africa live in Nigeria. It's stunning how big the population there is. So I applaud you for what they're doing. That I got to segue, though, Congressman. I want to get your take on what's going on in Ukraine. I think people are getting fatigued by this, but the president wants an answer by Thursday. What do you think is going to go down?
Well, I think, you know, I remember the Budapest Agreement, because I chaired and have been part of the Helsinki Commission since my second term in 1982. And I can tell you, the Ukrainians were told we would, and the UK, would protect their security interests, be very much a part. We got guarantees from the Russians. And of course, then they rolled into Crimea, and then the bloodletting has never ceased. I think a real big emphasis has to be put on Putin. He is a war criminal. I don't think an amnesty for a man like that, or Lavrov and these others, should be meted out. But we do want to stop the bloodletting, and we want to do it yesterday if that could happen. So, you know, I applaud again the president for saying he abhors the killing of the Ukrainians, as well as Russian soldiers, 18-year-olds who don't want to be there, or who are dying in huge numbers as well. Putin is like the worst commander-in-chief on the planet, who allows so many people to die, but all he cares about is power. So I think the president, again, and the deployment of our very able and capable Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is likely to lead to some very serious, okay, let's get it done. Let's get a ceasefire that is sustainable and hopefully get to a point where there's a peace plan. But we got to keep looking back past this prologue, the Budapest memorandum, and if you read it, it looked all good. They gave up their nuclear weapons that they had, a very significant arsenal, to Russia or the Soviet Union, and then in came now this attack.
Congressman David Webb here, and I want to shift gears again and bring it right inside the Beltway. Your Democrat colleague there, Sheila Sirfilis McCormick, indicted for allegedly stealing $5 million in FEMA funds. And it's not just limited to her. Others named in the indictment include her brother. This is more than just a clean and clear case of one person. You voted to censure her. Do you think at this point she should resign, or at the very least be removed from your Africa subcommittee?
Well, she has been removed, as I think you know. Others have been removed from positions of power like ranking memberships. But she does deserve her day, and certainly the Ethics Committee is aggressively looking at it, has been doing it since the summer. I hope that they render their opinion, very, very shortly. Congressman Stubbe, is ready with a resolution of expulsion. And if they find that these credible allegations, and they are alleged, are true, she should be gone, and she should be gone immediately. But I think, we've done that in the past on expulsion, especially, that you wait until the Ethics Committee does its due diligence. And it is 5-5, 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and on that committee. And I think that they will, they'll tell us what actually happened. And again, if it's true that she took money from FEMA and diverted $5 million to help people who are in dire straits from natural disasters, that's unconscionable. Unconscionable.
Congressman Chris Smith, we so appreciate your time on a wide range of topics tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.